And some things that I would add to that in terms of, how you express that to another person. Um, I think it's really important for us as women to learn how to communicate from femininity. And feminine communication, we can boil it down to like some very simple guidelines. Feminine, the essence of the feminine, the quality of the feminine is vulnerability based in feelings. So, when you're communicating to a lover, if you want to communicate from your femininity, communicate in I feel and in feeling states. So, for instance, I feel really safe with you when we spend 2 hours talking before we ever even start kissing. It feels really good to me when you hold my face and stroke my hair when you kiss me. Um, it doesn't feel so good to me for us to try to get to the bedroom after we've just had this disagreement. Can we come back around to a better feeling place before we try to do that? Um, I feel sad. I feel unsafe. I feel excited. I feel turned on. I feel enlivened by this conversation that we're having. I feel a little afraid, but I want to go ahead with this anyway. I feel uncertain right now. I feel confused. So I feel those are like your golden ticket words for knowing that you're resting into your femininity and expressing from that place. Along with I feel and all of the feeling words are I like that. I don't like that. I'm available for this. I'm not available for that. Right? So then the other person gets to choose how they want to meet you there. And what you're looking for is somebody who meets you there at the level or standard that you've already determined inside of yourself is what you need. So, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, for me personally, I feel most open towards a lover or someone I'm considering as a lover, someone that I'm exploring the possibility of intimacy with when I feel heard when I express a feeling. So, for example, if I say, I don't like that, I want to hear in response, oh, okay, well then let's not do that. I don't want to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And then for me, that's a green light. Okay, we can move ahead here. But if I say to somebody, I don't like it, I don't like that, I don't like when you do that, and they say in response, well, okay, I hear you, but I think you would like it if you would just hear what I'm trying to say, or if you would listen to me, or I can't see any really good reason why you wouldn't like this. Then it's red lights all over the place, game off. Like, I don't want any part of that because that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't make me feel like opening, right? So that's just one example of what I'm talking about when you know what your standard is and you know where you need to be met there. And then you can communicate in a way that discovers whether the other person can come and meet you there. And I recognize that it can be really difficult to be able to communicate that to a lover, particularly if you're not used to that, or if you have habituated patterns of overriding your yes and no, or overriding your places of permission. And so, what I want to say to you about it is that this is about practice. And just like any practice, whether it's yoga or meditation, any kind of practice, it's just that you practice it. So, you know, maybe one time you'll do that and you feel really great about how you came out of it. And maybe another time you just couldn't get the words out of your mouth, or you felt too triggered to be able to express and it went south. Fine. You just try again next time, right? It's a practice. So give yourself a lot of space and a lot of care and a lot of love for yourself in your process as you go along. This is about progress, not perfection. I would add to that there's a really intense dynamic that I think happens between people. And this seems to me to come from the female side of the dynamic more often, which is like expecting the other person to know. So you show up with a lover and you just expect them to know what you like, what you don't like, how you feel, what you want from them. And that's a huge expectation to have. And in my mind, that's equally as unsexy as convincing energy is. So I think that for a woman to feel empowered in her sexuality and to feel sovereign in her sexuality, and therefore to be able to participate in authentic intimacy, she has to be able to to find the way to express herself to her lover in a way that creates as much clarity as possible in any given moment, and to stay out of the energy of expectation that he's going to know what I want, what I like, what I don't like. It's my experience that most men, healthy masculine men, want to please their woman. They want to please her sexually, they want to please her emotionally. And when a woman can tell him exactly what that is for her, then he knows where he's at and he knows whether he has that to give or not. But if she's not telling him and he's just taking shots at what, I mean, if like you, his early experiences around sexuality and intimacy were, oh, men are supposed to like this, men are supposed to be like that, women like this and women like that, external messages that give lots of shoulds, then the likelihood that he's going to show up in a relationship or a lovership or the bedroom with that as his experience is high. So, in the same way that we want to overcome that in ourselves, we want to bring something into the intimacy that offers an inspiration for him to come and meet us there, right? So, one of the best ways that we can do that is to get out of expecting that he's going to know who I am or what I like or what I want and what I don't, and to tell him. You know, I've seen people say, if you want a man to do something, give it to him in exact and specific steps, like on a spreadsheet. And I love that analogy because I think it's so true. I think when a man can look at it and go, okay, she's told me that she likes it when I take it slow. She likes it when we have some romance first. She likes it when I light the candles. And and he experiences with her that when he does those things, he gets to experience closeness, he gets to experience her openness towards him, then for sure he's going to take it slow, give her some romance, and light the candles, right? So for you to be able to bring that to the interaction is gold. It's so valuable, and there's a beautiful way, I think, in which the feminine really leads this. In most regards, for any of you who have seen my teaching on dating and how to stop chasing men and allow them to come to you and magnetize them to you. One of the things that I like to share with women is, there's a way in which, for all of the sort of external details of the dates and how we spend time together, he needs to be the lead. And there are reasons for that are beyond where we're going to talk about today. But my point is that in this particular circumstance, I do feel there's a way in which the feminine takes the lead, and she can open that space up by doing exactly what I'm talking about: knowing herself, knowing her truth, uh, holding a standard, and expressing that clearly. So, the last thing that I want to say about that today is that, in my mind, the best way to show up to all of this with yourself as you're exploring and you're learning, and with a lover or a date or a potential new partner, is to come to it with an energy of playfulness and curiosity. So if we were to talk about the qualities of femininity, we would be talking about vulnerability, softness, playfulness, sensuousness, flirtatiousness. So to talk about playfulness, we're talking about a beautiful quality of the feminine. And I would encourage you to start, finding that in yourself, with yourself. Okay, so as I'm sorting and sifting through my past and what I liked and what I didn't like, I'm just going to be playful with myself about it. I don't want to be too serious about it. Let's let this be lighter rather than heavier. And even if it feels heavy for you and you've got, experiences from your past that you're still sorting through, that's okay. But still look for the ways, the places, even if it's just like, the little cracks of light coming through that are not quite burst open yet. Just see if you can find that place of playfulness, right? Or even if you're looking through past experiences that were difficult for you, can you look for any glimmer, any moment that there was a playful spark there? So just looking for that. And and when you're coming to another person with this, whether it's dating or lovership or exploring a new partner, that you bring that playfulness into the interaction and you bring curiosity to it. So let's see if I can think of an example of that for you. What I mean by that is, if a lover is doing something with you and you already know that's not something you like rather than getting heavy about it in a way that sounds like, "Oh, don't do that. That feels gross to me." Right? Instead, sort of like give him a kiss, look him in the eye, give him a sweet smile, and just move his hand where you would rather it be. That's a very clear communication. Or you can even move his hand and say, "I actually really love it when you touch me here." Right? So there is nothing in this that's about shaming the other person or judging the other person or putting the other person down, but instead that you're communicating from a playful way so that they can hear you and meet you there in that place where you're wanting to be met. And curiosity is key. I mean, like, who are you really, and who am I really, and who is this person that I'm opening myself up to, and who am I becoming in this opening? What am I learning about myself? What am I finding about myself that I didn't know before or haven't experienced before? So, some real wonder and curiosity and playfulness in there can go a long way in how you express yourself and your truth to another person for creating this sense of really authentic intimacy. So, ladies, thank you so much for all the ways that you've shown up today. I so appreciate you for your ability to show up, whether that's here live on the webinar or to the recording, and to look at places in yourself where you want to grow, and to be willing to get authentic and to explore this realm of intimacy. Because in my mind, the more intimate love there is in the world, the better a world we all live in.